Hey FlossTube, it's Donna Ray at Flannel Jammies Farm. If you're a first-time visitor or a cherished friend, I want to welcome you today. Today is Monday, April 16th, 2018. Time is flying. Welcome back. Welcome first time. We're glad you're here today. I have so much to talk to you about today. It's been 2 weeks, actually over 2 weeks, since we last visited. And I have lots and lots of things to share with you today. So let's get started. First off, I wanted to thank so many of you that gave me charming mentions in your FlossTube videos and on Instagram. It is such a delight to me. Every time I hear my name, I squeal like a 5-year-old. It's so much fun to me that you enjoy my channel and that you are willing to say such sweet things about my channel and about me. So thank you so very much. I've watched a lot of FlossTube over the last couple of weeks, but I haven't taken proper notes. So I can't share with you all of the things that I've watched, but I will next time give my own charming mentions. All right, let's talk about magical arrivals. Remember, those are the things that come to me in the mail that I probably wasn't expecting. Little stitchy kindnesses, little notes from friends near and far. Here we go. So the first one I got was this postcard from Jay at Mortuary Stitches. It's Dover Castle. Isn't it lovely? On the back she's written me this beautiful note from Millie and from Bindi and from Jay herself. And there's this beautiful cupcake sticker and this lovely royal stamp. Such a delight to hear from you, Jay. Thank you so much. I also got a postcard from my dear fellow Virginia stitcher, Amy Loves Toads. Amy, this is glorious. It's got bees all over it. It's a beautiful postcard. And on the back, she's got a bee sticker, and she's also got this stamped toad. Amy, thank you so much. I will treasure this. It's just delightful. Thank you. I received from Abby, Top Knot Stitcher, an Easter card with these beautiful tulips on the front. And I was so grateful, Abby, because I started to get really sick on Easter Sunday. And I had this beside me to cheer me as I was recuperating. And so I really appreciate your sweet thoughtfulness. Thank you. I received from Tanya at Scout and Remy. Remember, Scout and Remy are those incredibly wonderful needle minders that I obsess over. I absolutely love them. And so I received a thank you note from Tanya because I had mentioned Scout and Remy on one of my videos, and she sent along with it this bee needle minder. Isn't it beautiful? So it's a beautiful bright honeybee on the front, and the back is this black and white polka dot. It's just so sweet. Tanya, you did not have to do that, but I thank you so much because you know how much I love your needle minders. Thank you. Next, April from April, May, June Stitcher, hey April, was offering up this chart as a pass the stash kind of thing. And I said, oh, me please. And it's My Big Toe Designs, Walk Humbly. She was gracious enough to send this across the pond to me, and I am so grateful. This particular verse from Micah 6:8 is one that I absolutely love, and it says, O mortal, what is good he has shown you? And what does the Lord require of you? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. Such a sweet verse, and I really, really appreciate this, April. Thank you. And then, how many of you have been to the Hobby Lobby clearance sales of cross-stitch charts and goodies? Yeah? So many of you. I didn't get to go, but my good friend Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42, went and blessed me so much. She found this Thea Governor chart kit. It's actually a kit. Oh my goodness, it has everything I need, of the honeybee. Now, it's really difficult to find a good, beautiful design of a honeybee. Sometimes they're just a little quirky or a little strange. This is an absolutely gorgeous honeybee. It's very elegant. The colors are perfect. It's anatomically correct. It's just stunning. Audrey, thank you so much. This just blessed my heart, and I can't wait to stitch it. Thank you. All right. So many magical things coming and going. It's just amazing. In the stitchy world, there are lots of to-doings these days. I don't know if you've heard, but Michelle Bendy Stitchy went to a class at Acorns and Threads with designer Jeanette Douglas. And this was really special. So Michelle got to chat with Jeanette on camera and has added to her FlossTube number 54, I think, her chatting with Jeanette Douglas about Jeanette's new design series called Letters from Mom. And in that segment, Michelle walks us through not only the first design, which is the envelope, which many of us have seen. It says Letters from Mom on the front. But she also shows us each and every one of the little letters that go inside the envelope or can be stitched into a larger design. And it's just amazing. There are lots of specialty stitches. The colors are beautiful. The sentiments are so heartfelt. And so you get to know the story behind that series from Jeanette. And then Michelle shows us each one of the pieces. Then if you head over to Michelle Bendy Stitchy's Stitch With Me number 19, I think, Michelle is actually stitching the class piece that they got when they were with Jeanette Douglas. And it's not just one piece, it's lots of little pieces, and it's so very pretty. It's called My Stitching Box. And so Michelle is stitching one piece of that in her Stitch With Me number 19. It's a great watch. Head on over. Stephanie at Ivy House Crafter has been dipping her toe into designing charts. She's done a couple of Saxon band samplers and a couple of smalls. And as of today, I am delighted to report that Stephanie has opened her own Etsy shop. Of course, everything I'm chatting about today will be linked below, and you'll get to know more about that. So Stephanie, Ivy House Crafter, has her own Etsy shop, and she has begun a Facebook group for those people that wanted to do stitch-alongs with her Saxon band samplers. I've already joined, so you can head over to Facebook and join that group as well. Way to go, Stephanie. Good job. Stitching Social did their first Stitch With Us video, and it was fabulous. I felt like I was right there with them, that we were just stitching and giggling together and banter back and forth. It was a delight. Go and watch it. Stitching Social, their first Stitch With Us. Too much fun. Okay, Ginger Gerald has started a brand new video series, and it's called Confessions of a Floss Tuber. In this series, Gerald sits down and chats with floss tubers. There will be several episodes. The first episode, season 1, episode 1, was with Minty Stitcher, and they're in-depth interviews. You get to know more about Minty, more about her stitching style, more about things that she does in her stitching and in her life. It's wonderful. Thank you, Gerald, for doing those. So stay tuned to those Confessions of a Floss Tuber from Ginger Gerald. Okay, let's talk about stitch-alongs. Now remember, when I show you things, I'll insert some photos, some close-up photos at the end of my video so that you can get a closer look of what I've shown you during the video. But we're going to start talking about stitch-alongs. I have two current stitch-alongs. The first one, as you know, is Plum Street Samplers, Friends of the Heart. And I'm doing that with dear, dear friends Ann Robbins, Pat Ryan, and Donna Wynn. And Andy from Nana's Needles has joined us as well. I have absolutely no progress. None. My friend Donna has completed her 3rd page of the design. Anne is doing it over 1 and has restarted and is ahead of me. Pat and Andy just fly, so I know that they're just far beyond me. I have no progress. What can I say? The flu came to me and wanted to reside. So no progress, but here it is. Plum Street Samplers, Friends of the Hart. And again, that's one of my Scout and Remy needle minders right there with the deer on it. So no progress, but oh well. It's the best I can do. My second current whip is Good Flora Stitchy Warts. I love her name. Good Flora Stitchy Warts design, Dame Crodle and the Bees. And remember, this was a gift for me from Tina at Emily Ann's Closet on Instagram. And it's a lovely chart. I absolutely love it. And I keep it here in my bee bag from Made by Mama Joan. And I started this and had a really good start on it. And then the flu. So this is how far I am. I promise you, I'm going to get back to work on this and get some good progress going. This bee needle minder was a gift from a friend, and so I thought it went perfectly with this stitch. I will tell you that Glenn at Southern Stitcher started stitching this as well. She had it in her stash, and so she said, I'm going to start on that too. She's done. Glenn got it done just in time for National Unicorn Day. So if you haven't watched Southern Stitcher, she's just so whimsical and lovely. Give her a watch. She's finished this. Okay, those were my current stitch-alongs. In my fevered state over the last couple of weeks, I watched a lot of FlossTube and decided I'm going to join that stitch along. Oh, I want to join that stitch along, because why not, right? All the stitch alongs. So I'm going to give you kind of my schedule of what's going to start when over the next few months. And so here we go. On May 1st, I'm going to be starting Sally Spencer from Birds of a Feather. I'm going to be doing this with Lynette of Homesteading on the Homefront and Lori of Mischievous Stitches. And I do have this is probably a better picture of that sampler, so you can see it a little bit better. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to start it. So then, because, you know, all of the styles, why not? On June 23rd, I'm going to be doing, starting Quaker Handwork, and this is from Brenda Gervais, and I'm going to be doing this again with Lynette from Homesteading on the Homefront and Andy of Nana's Needles. Now, my understanding is that these two friends of mine are actually going to start this when they meet in person on June 23rd at a very rumored New England floss tubers meetup. Okay. Then in July, so Leslie Hurley from Fat Cat Flossing wanted to do a birthday stitch-along. Her birthday month is in July. July is my birthday month too. And it's a really easy stitch-along. It's a shepherd's bush stitch-along. Here's how it goes. Choose a shepherd's bush design and stitch along in July. Leslie talks about it a little bit on one of her videos, and so I said I'm going to join in. I have this darling shepherd's bush scissor fob, and it's a bee. And this was given to me by one of my friends in my stitching group, Donna Otlowski. And so she said, you know, I just don't think I'm going to do this, and I think you will. Well, Donna, I'm going to do it in July, and it comes with everything I need, so I am kitted and ready to go. Leslie, it's our birthday month. Let's stitch that shepherd's bush. Okay, so September 1st, I'm going to be starting with so many of you, Helen D. and Holly and Anita and Lynette and many more of you. We're going to be starting out of this book, Home for the Holidays, Blackbird Designs, 'Tis the Season. This gorgeous, gorgeous cardinal. I am thrilled to be starting this. I have had this book for quite some time, and darling friends Barb and Alma wrote me a sweet note inside, and I've just been waiting for the opportunity to stitch something special out of this book. All right, there is also a stitch along project, interactive art installation. Mr. X Stitch is going to be doing an art installation in December at Standen House, which is an arts and crafts house in England. And he's going to be putting up an installation that will share smiles and festooned festivity with the visitors to Standen House, which is in East Sussex in England. And so the really cool thing about this installation is that the pieces are going to be crowdsourced from stitchers just like you and me. So all you have to do is visit Mr. X Stitch's webpage, and I'll link that down below. And he's got this free chart, and there are 4 baubles. He's calling them baubles. And you can choose one. You can stitch 2 or 3 or 4, and all you do is stitch them. The more colorful, the better. They're to be stitched on 14 count Aida or 28 count linen. Each one is going to go in a hoop, so it's really important that they're uniform size. So that's why the 14 count Aida, 28 count linen. This project is called the Standen X Stitch Xmas Bauble Project by Mr. X Stitch. And so once you've finished stitching your bauble or baubles, there's an address to send them to. He needs to receive them by October 31st. Now, I believe a couple of our FlossTube friends, I think Audrey, Stitchy Witch 42, and I think maybe Michelle Bendy, if I'm wrong, please correct me. But I think they have offered to have folks in the U.S. send their bauble to them here in the U.S., and then they will send a bulk package across the pond to England. And that way we don't all have to spend the overseas postage. It's a very generous offer from them. So stitch your bauble, send it to Mr. X Stitch by October 31st, and it's going to be fabulous. Our baubles will be festooned along with baubles from stitchers all across the globe, bringing smiles to visitors during the Christmas season. I think it'll be wonderful. All right, now, Stitch Mania. You heard about this? This weird little thing called Stitch Mania, and it's spelled with a Y, M-A-Y-N-I-A. A couple of people have joined in. Stitch Mania began in 2015, and it started as a stitch along. And what you were to do is to start 15 projects, one each of the first 15 days in May. This Facebook group has grown exponentially since that time. And so people are, this year some are stitching the original way, 15 starts, 15 days in May. Some are stitching 18 starts, the first 18 days in May, because it's 2018. Some really ambitious people, crazy people, ambitious people are starting 31 starts the entire 31 days of May. So it's really kind of do what you like. You can do new starts, you can work on whips, lots of ways to do this. I am, for the first time, I'm going to join in. Now, May is a really busy month for me. We have a family funeral that we need to attend at Arlington National Cemetery in DC, and that's 1 week in May. Another week in May, I'm taking yet another trip to the exotic and adventurous Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore. Throw in, a 36-year anniversary with my husband, and it's going to be a busy month for Donna Ray. So I had to kind of tweak Stitch Mania a little bit. I am going to work on the premise of 18 starts for the 18 days at the beginning of May because it's 2018. But instead of doing a whole new chart, I'm going to do bits of larger charts. So the first 12 days, I'm going to be doing Paulette Stewart's complimentary. I know I'm showing a chart, but it's a free chart. It's a complimentary series called the 12 Days of Christmas. And I've printed out all the charts and I've kitted it up. And so that's the first 12 days. And I'm doing those lovely 12 Days of Christmas on Stars Hollow Blend linen in Gloriana silks. My favorites. Aren't they beautiful? There's that poinsettia. I love that Gloriana poinsettia. It's my favorite floss ever. So I'll be doing the 12 Days of Christmas on that linen in those threads. So that's ready for the first 12 days. The next 6 days, because 12 plus 6 equals 18, cause math, right, Steph? The next 6 days, I'm going to be doing the border and the first 5 of the Farmhouse Christmas charts. So border 1 day, 5 charts, start 1 each the next 5 days. And I'm doing that on 32 count creek bed linen from R&R Reproductions. And I'm doing them all on one piece. And then I'll probably insert the Donna Ray quilt square designed by Lynette at Homesteading on the Home Front into the center. We'll see what happens. But so that's kitted up. Those are my 18 days. I am ready to go for Stitch Mania. I'd love to know what you're going to do. I've been watching lots of floss tubers who are letting us know what they're doing for Stitch Mania, so I'd love to see what your plans are for that as the time draws closer. Now, this weekend is extra special. Tanya Brockmeyer of the Scarlet House is the featured designer at the Dying to Stitch Spring Retreat beginning this Friday. Now here's how it works. Pardon me. Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night, there's open stitch time every night at the hotels. A large room, lots of tables. Bring your light, bring your munchies, bring your glass of wine, chat with friends, get some stitching done, maybe not get some stitching done. Lots of fun. Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Friday, there's an open house and meet and greet with Tanya at Dying to Stitch. So what that means is you get to meet Tanya. You also get a little bag with a small exclusive design from Tanya in the bag and some instructions about the weekend. And there will be refreshments, and you get to see people that you haven't seen in a long time who have traveled in for the retreat. And all the haul, y'all, because you'll be right there in the store the whole time. So that's Friday. Then, of course, Friday night stitching. Saturday, you can choose either the morning class or the afternoon class. I'm not a morning person at all. So I chose the afternoon class, which means that I will go for lunch. There's a luncheon in between the two classes with Tanya. So there's a luncheon that's so good, so delicious. It's been a huge spread every time they do a retreat. It's just wonderful. And then during lunch, we have a lecture. The last retreat, it was Miranda Weeks from Weeks Dye Works. This time, we're having twins Terry and Sherry from Total Framing. They are going to come during lunch and give us a lecture sharing their framing experiences and their framing advice for all of us there at the retreat. Then I will, after lunch, have my class with Tanya, and I will receive her exclusive design for the retreat attendees, as well as a gift bag from Dying to Stitch filled with goodies. It is always so generous and so thoughtful. So I can't wait for that. Then, of course, Saturday night, more stitching. Lots of friends, a great time. I absolutely cannot wait. I'm dying to meet Tanya, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to film a little footage during the retreat to share with you in my next video. All right, so let's talk about my stitching. There isn't a lot. Like I said, Easter Sunday, I started getting sick, and I went to Johns Hopkins with the flu. I came home from Johns Hopkins with the flu. The flu set up housekeeping and turned into an infection. And so I'm finally getting better with the help of some antibiotics, but I got very little stitching done. So I must have had a bad case of FOMO, fear of missing out, because I joined in on dark 13 stitching on Friday the 13th. I mean, it was Friday the 13th, so it was kind of compulsory to do hashtag dark 13 stitching, right? I did a new start on that day, and it's now going to be my hashtag Witchy Wednesday stitch, okay? And it is Plum Street Samplers Salem Sisters 3. So remember I told you that we went to Salem in October, and I was so moved by visiting Salem. I've been fascinated by the witch trials forever, and that trip made this series from Paulette Stewart kind of a must stitch. And so Paulette helped me track them down. Here it is, my start on Salem Sisters 3. Okay, it's not much of a start, I get that. But it is a start. I'm starting at the top with this tombstone angel and have the outline of the face in. I do have a cute little witch needle minder, so that counts for something, right? Here's my new start. All right, I also have a finish. I know, how did that happen? I was able to finish Beth Twist Heartstring Sampleries, Thou God Seest Me. Now, I used all the called for colors, and just kind of in a couple of places I switched which color went where, but no major changes at all. I absolutely love the design. I'm thrilled with the finish. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, that brick house and the verse, Thou God Seest Me. I just think this is a gorgeous, gorgeous design. Thank you, Beth, so much for this. All right. Let's talk about my shopping bags, shall we? I got a few things. I've ordered some things, and I have a bag waiting for me at Dying to Stitch that I haven't had an opportunity to get there since I've started feeling better to pick up yet. But I do have a few things. I got from Chantel Bess, Stitching My Way. I got my superhero needle minders. Yay! So I have Superman. Isn't that great? And I have Thor, because Thor. These are awesome. Thanks, Chantel. I appreciate it. I also got a new Made by Mama Joan bag. I love her bags. Joan, you rock. Your bags are great. I got the, this is the Donna Ray style. And remember, this is just about half as wide, but it's tall with the zipper at the top. This one is pink fabric, and it's got all these lovely words. It's got things like brave and hope and girlfriends and crafty and blessed and joy and just so many great encouraging words on the back of here. And inside she's done white with pink polka dot fabric, just very sweet. And this is the perfect size for your half sheet folded chart. I'll show you how this works. It just slips right in there, so it's right way up. And your fabric and threads, right, slips right in there. And it's just the right size to carry around to do your car stitching or your at an appointment stitching. And it's just the perfect size. I love this bag. The Donna Ray bags are just precious. Thank you, Joan. Okay, the other thing that I got. I saw everybody else doing it. I saw what you got. I even touched some that were my friends. I oohed and awed over them. And finally, I emailed Nancy Turner at Victorian Motto Threads, and I joined the monthly Floss Club. I got the 6-piece, not the 12-piece, but I got the 6-skein monthly club, the Primitive Floss Club. These are limited edition primitive colors. And so you've seen these before. These things are, number one, the colors are gorgeous, right? Colors are gorgeous. The threads feel great. They're beautiful. They're amazing. They're a great value. It's 20 yards of floss on a skein instead of your normal 5 yards. That's a great value. Also, if there's a DMC equivalent to the thread color that's on here, Nancy puts that number for the DMC color right on the floss tag. So that if you need to do a conversion, if you've got a chart that says use number DMC 3836, you can go through your stash of Victorian Motto threads and say, this one's going to be perfect. So let's look at them really quickly. This one is Moonlight Serenade. It's gorgeous. Just a beautiful violet, plummy color. Then there's Pressed Flowers. Look at that. It's a lovely kind of carnation pink. Just beautiful. This one is Old Mill Stream. Look at that blue. That is gorgeous. This one is Grandma's Bow. Grandma, what you been up to? Woo! This one's Frosted Mums. That's really gorgeous. And this one is Surrey with the fringe on top. These threads are gorgeous. I also, because, you know, Dark 13 stitching, Witchy Wednesday stitching, Salem Sisters, all the things, I got 2 skeins of Old Salem Spell from Nancy as well. So if you have not tried them, even if you just want to try one, email Nancy Turner, Victorian Motto Sampler Shop, and just chat with her about it. You know, I'd like to try one skein just to see what it's like. Here's a color family that I like, or here's a DMC color that I really like. And she will work with you. Nancy is wonderful, and she's very prompt. She's very organized. It's a great club to be a part of. So, what's that? You wanted to be a part of the video?
Why not?
Okay, everybody, we've got a special guest who wants to show us his whip. Hang on a minute. Okay, everybody, so my husband Tom wanted to show you his whip. Remember we were working on fermenting some cabbage to make kraut. Well, while I was sick, this man took over my kitchen.
What we have here is the kraut source lid making some kimchi.
So
Attempting.
what exactly is kimchi?
Well, Your Honor, I don't have a clue.
So kimchi is a wonderful Asian food, and it's fermented ingredients that makes this makes this great complement to almost anything. You can put it on chicken, you can put it on your rice, you can put it on all kinds of things just as a complement to foods. So what did you put in this, Tom Barrow?
This is Napa cabbage, Diagon radish,
Diagonally?
diagonally radish,
Daikon.
daikon radish, correct.
Yes. So
Multicolored carrot,
okay.
8 cloves of garlic.
8 cloves of garlic.
Right, it said 8 heads, but I didn't think that was correct.
That sounds like a lot. Okay, so I wish we had smell-o-vision because
This is an odoriferous experience, is what you're saying?
it is an odoriferous experience. We have been lovingly calling this smell old hag in the woods. So why is that big leaf of cabbage in there?
Well, this big leaf helps hold down the rest of the brew, if you will.
So it holds down the solid material?
Holds down the solid material underneath the liquid.
Okay.
So therefore, you get full submerge ability. And
During the fermentation.
yes, because the fermentation must take place in a oxygen absent environment.
Ah, I see. No air in there. So are you actually going to taste this?
I figure I should taste this after 7 days in the jar. Here we go.
Tell us
I
about
think
it.
I like it.
You like it? Tell us about it.
It's hot, kind of spicy.
Why is it spicy? Is it just the garlic?
Oh, there's jalapeno. There's not jalapenos, but crushed Anaheim pepper and a green chili.
Ah,
So it called for equal amounts of ginger, Anaheim pepper, and green. So ginger and pepper. So equal amounts. So
so
I chose-
ginger too.
yeah, the ginger is prominent.
Ah.
That's very, very nice.
What do you think that's going to go best on?
Breakfast, lunch, dinner. Yeah. All right, so I'm ready to put it back into. I think it's good.
So you're going to
But
let it ferment a little longer.
I think another week is fine. We can use the lid to start another round of your favorite kraut.
I am a serious kraut hound.
Yes.
I could eat enough
Yes,
kraut
mate.
to. Yeah, yes, mate. Our little ode to Lad Baby. All right.
Baby, you're missing out here.
Well, I appreciate you showing your whip today, Mr. Barrow.
This is a work in progress, and next week she'll be done.
Okay, so you'll have a finish for us.
Well, maybe.
Well.
I might eat it all before then.
All right, Mr. Barrow, say goodbye.
All right, cheers.
Okay, well, I hope you enjoyed our special guest, Tom Barrow, and his kimchi. I am so glad we had this time together today. I've missed you all so terribly. The flu was horrible, and it was a long time since my last video, and I've missed you all. So I'm glad to be back. I'm hoping again, as I said, to have some video of the retreat for my next episode. So we'll see if that gets to happen. Remember that I'll have close-ups of all of the things that I've shown today, close-up photos just after I've said goodbye during our ending music, so do stay tuned. And until next time, my dear friends, I invite you to be the grace and the kindness that you want to see in our world. Bye-bye.
If I just say the words, is that enough to make them true? If I just say the words, so that you can see the truth. If I just say the words, will you know that I love you? Yes, I do, I love you. You're one word short of laughter, another shy of pain. One day it's all sunshine, and the next day it's all